And this is Scrubbing Up with Dr. Michael Kachmar.
That's right.
Today's date is December. What's today's date there, Jeremy?
Is December 3rd, Friday.
Today's December 3rd, the year of our Lord, 2021.
Yes, sir.
And I'm Dr. Michael Kachmar. We have Jeremy here today. Jeremy, you want to say hello?
Hey, everybody.
I'm
I'm your old pal Jeremy. Everybody knows who I am, and I'm a director of marketing. I specialize in medical marketing, and we do a podcast here every week. It's a video podcast you can see on YouTube and Facebook, and it's a sound, audible podcast on iTunes. Spotify, Yahoo, all over the board.
So go to YouTube, and if you get this on the podcast or if you're watching us, subscribe to us, hit the bell, subscribe to us.
Yeah,
we also
subscribe to us. Tell your friends about the show. I mean, that's the important thing.
That's right.
We get known for what we do by word of mouth, and that can only happen from you.
All right. So we're a medical talk show. I'm Dr. Kachmar. I'm a board-certified reconstructive foot and ankle surgeon, a doctor of podiatric medicine. Jeremy's going to put up on the YouTube, on our screen, how to get a hold of us. There's an email, drkachmar@icloud.com. So that's drkachmar@icloud.com.
Yeah.
You also get us on our webpage, Jersey Shore Foot and Leg Center.com.
Yeah.
And you watch our show. We are on, like Jeremy said, Spotify. We're on Apple Podcast. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch.
Everywhere, find podcasts.
Yeah, we're trying to get on everything. So anyway,
and we're free.
We're free.
It's a free show. You don't have to worry about paying. Right. Come on.
So Jeremy, let's look at Santa Claus up there. Where is he? There he is. Can you wave to Santa Claus?
Hi, bye, Santa.
Santa's up there chilling out.
Yeah, so he's doing pretty good next to that big jug of booze.
So people look at our studio here. They see pants behind you and me. I have lifeguards. So we do also a lifeguard show on Tuesdays. It's off duty.
I gotta bring something in to hang behind.
Yeah, we'll have some. So we have off duty. It's called off duty. It's called Lifeguards Off Duty. Lifeguards Off Duty with Dr. Michael Kachmar. So you want to check that out, and that's all about water stuff. So we have a filled day today. We have a lot of things to talk about. We talk about foot and ankle surgery. We talk about medicine generally, and then we talk about medicine and politics. So again, this is a medical news show. And it's an opinion show.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a talk show. And you got to take it with a grain of salt.
Right.
Everything we say on here, and I love to say this a lot. It's like a buffet. You take what you want and you leave the rest.
Yeah.
This should not be the end of your research. It should be the beginning. So whatever you feel like, whatever you hear here, political or otherwise, take what you want.
Right. What do we say, Jerry? What is it? Our views are not ours only.
Unfortunately.
So let's start. I want to talk about. I'm a big proponent of therapeutics for this corona because we push people for the therapeutics. I just want to throw a couple things out because I just had a patient call me up the other day who we were taking care of, and they came down with corona, and they weren't vaccinated. I don't think they got it because I was treating them, but they got it, and we pushed them to get the monoclonal antibodies. Okay,
monoclonal antibodies, yeah.
And the monoclonal antibodies, I'm pulling it up here, are FDA approved. Okay, they're FDA approved, and they've been around for a long time. So that's monoclonal antibody treatments. And what that is you go to the hospital and they're available. A lot of doctors don't push you into it or tell you it's available.
Yeah.
But here's what it is. If you look at the CDC and go look up on the CDC webpage, monoclonal antibody treatments, it's between 75 and 85% reduction of hospitalizations and deaths.
I think if you call around, there's supposed to be like some privately owned pharmacies that will be able to you can get it from
hospitals.
If you get hospitals.
No. Yeah.
If you get a prescription for it. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. If you go into the ER, a lot of the ERs will give it to you if you hit if you satisfy certain criteria. Definitely over 65. Definitely, if you haven't had the vaccine, you got to be corona positive, first of all. You have to test positive. And you got to get it within the 10 days. And actually, The thing with the monoclonal antibodies, you got to get it like in the first couple of days. I think that if you look at the literature and the way I read it, is the quicker you get it, the better. If you sit there and go, hey, let me see how, maybe let me wait a week or so, then you're so sick, you're done. If you haven't had the vaccine, you're over 65 or even under 65, obese, have comorbidities, you should be, if you look at the literature, what they're saying, what I'm telling you is what I'm reading here is you should get the monoclonal antibodies.
Here's a question. So I would like to know if there's any facts or if there's any statistics on people who've had like people are getting vaccinated and they're getting the booster shot, but they're still getting sick.
Yes.
Right. So I'd like to know if you've had the boosters, if you've had the 2 shots and the monoclonal antibodies. What are those statistics? That's the information we need to get out now, because I think once you get those monoclonal antibodies in, you're like a ninja.
Well, let me tell you something.
As far as COVID goes,
I got a better one for you. I'm trying to find. I went on CDC webpage and other places. I'm trying to ask the question. And let me just tell you, I asked the question: how many people who have had corona, had the virus naturally, get reinfected? And you know what I came up with?
What's that? Oh yeah. I've seen those numbers before. Yeah.
Now, I'm not telling. I can't find it. Somebody can find it and show me where they were at. I can't find it like that.
We used to do studies. We used to do studies about nothing.
Right. I know.
Yeah.
Well, a screwdriver. If you leave a screwdriver and a Phillips head screwdriver and a flathead screwdriver in a drawer, will they mate? Some shit stupid. So
and what would they become?
What would they? That's a good one. So I just want to throw people out there. Listen, Florida, I think we're doing it prophylactically. There's a big battle. The federal government, Biden's administration, took over the distribution of monoclonal antibodies. Some people say to ration it. You could go look at the stuff that the governor of Florida is making allegations against the governor of the president of the United States with regard to holding off monoclonal antibodies. We should have monoclonal antibodies. We should be dealing with it could save many people's lives.
No, and I know I'm in for the hurt here. When you say prophylactically, are we talking about a prophylactic?
Well, what we're talking about is that
like a condom.
No, I saw a video. The guy who
am I being completely stupid?
No. Well, when we use prophylactic, what we're saying is this is interesting, and I think that the Florida, in Florida, they were doing that. If you don't have the vaccine and you don't have coronavirus, so the idea is if you get the monoclonal antibody, which is an hour infusion, all right, you have to have an IV. The manufacturer is saying you might have between 6 and 8 months of what do you call immunity. So let's just say you don't want the vaccine. Theoretically you could get the monoclonal antibody. I'm not suggesting that. What I'm suggesting right now is that if you get sick and you got corona, whether or not you had the vaccine, didn't have the vaccine, you should really look at the data. Go talk to your primary doctor or go to the emergency room. I'm telling you right now, a lot of people, it saved their lives. I keep hitting the wrong button. A lot of people saved their lives. So, but let me just go with this and then we could go off on our other tangent.
Sure.
They're also, Pfizer now, there's also an antiviral pill. Okay. And what that antiviral pill is, I want to find it here. It's so what it's called, it's a RNA virus proteinase inhibitor. Basically, that's what, believe it or not, ivermectin is.
Oh.
Ivermectin. See, when you have the virus, it makes proteins, and the proteins are really long, and the virus has to cut the proteins, cut them, and what cuts it is a protease. It's the protease. I think it's called CD. I'm getting out of my world. I'm not a virologist, but basically, what this does is it inhibits the protease from doing its job. That's what ivermectin supposedly does. Yeah. That's why the studies were out there. That's why people said, hey, let's use ivermectin, because it's a protease inhibitor. I'm not saying, nobody, CDC.
Because nobody was really using it, were they? I mean, it was out,
well,
but the government wasn't been like, hey, we got something here.
I just looked today and I don't see the CDC, the World Health Organization, I still believe today does not recommend using ivermectin to treat corona. Okay, I just want to let you know. But they do monoclonal antibodies. Right. So if you're, one of those people who want to follow the CDC, monoclonal antibodies is right in there. So, but it's kind of rationed and there's criteria, but I'm telling you, 75 to 85% successful. Now, but just want to give you this. Pfizer is coming out with the new pill, and it's spelled Paxlovid. And this is going to be the big thing. I think that this could be a game changer. Yeah. So what I'm saying is this, Jeremy. You got people who get vaccinated, right? You get people who get vaccinated. And whether or not the kids get vaccinated, I don't think there should be a mandate. We're consistent on the show, but this is where it should have gone. And this is what Peter Navarro and President Trump, their idea was back in the beginning. Get the vaccine. It's really, the vaccine is not really a vaccine per se. We use that term. I mean, I don't know the definition, how you say a vaccine, but it's not, usually a vaccine is you take a virus and you kill it or you weaken it and you put it into the body. Okay. This is not a virus. This is a messenger RNA, vaccine. And so it's a little different. Right. So the idea was to get this out quick, to have people to get the vaccine and then get the therapeutics, the hydrocortisone, the ivermectin, the monoclonal antibodies, and the monoclonal antibodies are definitely amazing, and then now they're coming out with these antiviral pills, which are protease inhibitors. So, we're at the stage where I think that if we get rid of the politics, and get these medications, we're going to end this. We're close to ending this.
Getting rid of the politics.
Right now, I know there's variants, but here's the thing with the variants. Yeah. It's easy. They have, I think, 100 million doses of another vaccine, the messenger RNA, to go after that. They could change it. That's easily manipulated, but then you have the therapeutics. So which brings me to the last thing, which is herd immunity. Now, I've read papers where, you can't have herd immunity. First of all, there's a great article. Did we have the article? It was the Hoover Institute. And I'll bring that up in a minute. I'm going to tell you who to reference it. It's an hour-long show. It's on the Hoover Institute. And it's these, there was the three doctors, they wrote a paper. I think they're from Harvard, Yale, and I can't think of the other, Stanford. And they advised DeSantis and Trump. But here's the thing about herd immunity. Once you get to herd immunity, what happens with herd immunity is people are still going to get the coronavirus. It ain't going to go anywhere. Yeah. But what happens is it's not going to spread. It might spread to one person and that's it. It's not going to exponentially keep on going to 20, 30. And those people spread it to 20, 30. Right. That's what herd immunity means. What herd immunity means, Jeremy, is it stops it in the track. It stops it from bouncing all over the place. Yeah. And we should be pretty damn close to that. I know with the variants, you get the variants, and so people don't have the herd immunity. Well, I don't think there's complete evidence, especially if you're saying the people who are getting it are the ones who didn't have the vaccine. Right. But the ones who, if you could isolate them and get them on a therapeutic, you should nip this in the bud. Right. So and again, I'm not the expert, and I just throwing people out there. I'm just saying these, if my wheelhouse right now is my patients. If I'm operating on somebody, I have surgery Monday and Tuesday. If any of my patients, say they get exposed to corona in the hospital, I'm going to push those patients as quickly as I can to monoclonal antibodies. That's what I'm going to do, right. And in my little world. And anyway, so that's that. So let me just find this one other article here for you, Jeremy, because I just want to give people the reference. What do you want to say? Well, you got some stuff that you want to key up too, right?
Yeah. I got everything up here.
Let me
I mean, you were saying about monoclonal antibodies. I noticed that, President Biden yesterday had mentioned going forward with the Omicron variant. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. But he did mention a monoclonal antibody strike team, and that I don't know. It's a very interesting choice of wordage for that. The strike teams, like.
Well, they're playing politics with monoclonal antibodies,
but because up until now they've been pretty much in control of the supply and limiting the supply. So I don't know if it's going to control it even more, make it even you know what I mean? A strike team that's in charge of it.
They're playing. Listen,
that makes me a little nervous.
Jeremy, just thank God for the 81 million people who voted for Biden. And we have such a great president. And it's just, I mean, more people have died under his watch of Corona than Trump.
God bless him.
God, that's really good. That we're weaning out the population. There's going to be more food for us and everything. Yeah. Also, more people out of work. More people are depressed. We just came out with a study from the CDC between April 2020 to April 2021. 100,000 people OD'd on drugs because they're not getting care because of shutdowns. I applaud these people. Fauci, what a great job he's doing.
No wrong.
No, these people are great. So anyway,
whatsoever.
Listen, these people. Thank God for the 81 million people who voted for this guy, because I didn't vote for him. But you know what? They showed me the error. We were so wrong. We were so stupid.
I was out there wandering for days.
I was
lost.
I just can't wait till they pass this huge, friggin' $1 trillion. We really
build back better plan.
I love this inflation.
God.
You know what I love about inflation?
What's that?
And I love that the gas prices are going to go to like $5 because you know what? It's going to force all these friggin' what do you call them? Conservatives. They're not going to be able to drive and won't be able to afford the gas. Yeah. And then finally, we're going to be able to have clean air.
Right.
But we will drive anywhere.
I have too much money as it is already.
right. You got to give it away.
Yeah.
Listen,
why not?
Yeah. Listen. So anyway, obviously, I hope people realize we're being facetious. Yeah. But here's the article I want to throw out. This is the Hoover Institute. So this is an article. It was a YouTube video, and it's called "What Happened." This is Dr. J. Last name I want to give it to you is Bhattacharya. And it says on 19 months of COVID. And there he discusses about what the lockdowns did, how when they did big studies. These lockdowns, as Trump said, they're not without their side effects. 100,000 people OD'd. We didn't have elective surgeries. We're going to talk about that right now. They stopped us from operating. I talked to a patient the other day. They had no idea. They had no idea that I could not do elective surgeries for about 3 months. Nobody could. They shut it down in New Jersey. It shut it down all over. So what does that mean when you can't have your colonoscopy? You can't have your, whatever surgery you need. How much misery, how much pain, how much, disabilities. But anyway, what are you going to say, Jeremy?
Well, this is I'm getting this right from the new book by Bobby Kennedy Jr. The Real Anthony Fauci, Bill Gates, Big Pharma, and the Global War on Democracy and Healthcare. And he goes into what those lockdowns really did to us. We've lost lifespan. Like the lifespan for our people is considerably dropped. Children though, they're saying here, he says there's a Baylor scale test that tests babies and what their potential IQ can be. And that's dropped considerably.
The kids in school.
Suicide rates among children rose 50%. 50% during the lockdowns.
Right.
I mean that hit me home. Every time I heard of a kid my son's age committing suicide over this mess.
Right. So if you're not like a lot of people, I know Kennedy, he's controversial. Mm-hmm. So forget about him. If you don't want to read that, listen, go to this article I just talked about. This guy here, Jay Bhattacharya, is I don't know if he's from Harvard or Yale. Or I think or maybe even he's from California, the Hoover Institute. These guys have, been doing the research for 18 months, and they talk about all this. The amount of how much the children lost from school, the suicides. But I want to make a point about this elective surgery stuff because, they just now with this new variant, Omicron, what is it called?
Omicron.
Omicron. Yeah. What did New York State just do yesterday or the day before? Yeah. Tell the audience what they just did.
They shut down any elective surgeries just at the mere whiff of Omicron.
Right. So I can't I can comment on it. I didn't.
So
I can't.
They actually did that. They did that without any actual cases being shown in the United States. Right. Since then, however, though, there was a Japanese animation convention in New York, possibly at the Javits Center, that a lot of people went to, and Omicron was there because people flew in from all over.
But Jeremy, here's my thing. First of all, they do these knee jerk reactions. Number one. Number two is knee jerk. Number one is I can't confirm that New York State pulled the plug on elective surgeries, but I told you I had a patient not just yesterday, day before, and I told him that during the initial COVID hit, we didn't do elective surgeries for like at least 3 months, maybe 4 months, maybe even longer. I don't even remember now. I mean, I got elective surgery all the time. Plus, I got surgeries that are emergent. So to stop that because of this, I have patients that I operate on who never been vaccinated. So we have a whole different thing. Right now, like I keep on saying, so you're going to have a variant. So what? You're going to have another variant after this and another variant after that. What do we got? You can't. The closures are worse than the leaving open. Well, get the therapeutics.
While you're at closures, I just wanted to read this paragraph. This is from the book again. The lockdown disintegrated vital food chains, dramatically increased rates of child abuse, suicide, addiction, alcoholism, obesity, mental illness, as well as debilitating developmental delays, isolation, depression, and severe educational deficits in young children. 1/3 of teens and young adults reported worsening mental health during the pandemic. I mean, this is right. We don't want that going back again. No.
But you got to understand, Jeremy. Yeah, and I agree with what you're saying, and I think that's all accurate. But for our audience,
this is just the dad in me.
Right. This is his opinion, and this is a book, and a lot of people think that guy's crazy as a jaybird.
Do they really?
Yeah. But I'm not saying that. But here's the thing. I just talked to you about the Hoover Institute, which is the most prestigious institute. This doctor here, Jay, again, his last name is Bhattacharya.
Say that out loud.
I don't. I can't. But this is an hour-long YouTube video. And these guys, there's a paper they wrote, and in fact, I'm just going to pull it up here. There is science out there. My point is, if you really want to see what I think we're saying on the show is just don't look at what the vaccine and the virus and how we're going to handle handle this. What you got to look at is what went down, what's the other side, what the closure, what did that do? In other words, we know that 700 or 800, how many people died of the corona? How many people were hospitalized? How many people have COVID long haulers where they got, mental fog, they got, chronic cough, they're getting, blood clots,
right.
And then I don't even know what the long-term effect of the vaccine is going to be. Hopefully none, right now we don't see anything. I know a lot, you say a lot of people die, but it's not real evident that that's the case. So my point is that there's another side of the coin here that we're trying to bring up. And now we're seeing it because now the statistics are coming out. Yeah. And that is this, it's the suicides, the kids lost from school, the misery, not in my world, not allowing us to do elective surgery now. And, that means like, with Barbara Schneider, biopsies of a breast, they were putting that behind, colonoscopies. I had a colonoscopy. I had severe chest pain. I had to wait in line. In fact, I went in to see the doctor January. He put me on a schedule. I had pain. Could have been cancer.
Right.
The first time they could get me in was August.
Wow.
August. Now I'm a doctor. And what
people out there listening, don't think he can pull strings.
And, well,
he's waiting in line like everybody else.
And what happened was I got it a little bit sooner. I think maybe July or June, right. June or July, maybe June. So and what happened was the state of New Jersey. I'm not making this up. Limited how many surgery centers could be open and how often, how many procedures could be done.
Right. They were counting like injections, weren't they?
Yeah, but here's the thing. The state of New Jersey, what they did, and a lot of states, the executive branch, again, became a dictator. This was because they have a national, what they did, I told you, they declared a national and medical emergency. Yeah. It gave the governor, the president of the United States, whatever, sweeping powers. What they did in New Jersey is they said, you got to take the people out of the community hospital, out of the hospitals, the seniors, and put them back to the nursing homes. And they made the nursing homes take them back because they didn't want to clog up the hospital. Now, that was number one. I think that was wrong. And like, I forget it is 11,000 people die in nursing homes. Number two is they said to us, you guys can't operate. They didn't ask us for our opinion. They had some experts, but most of us are like, what? Why can't we operate?
Now, bear in mind, folks, these operations have been scheduled. People are dying to get them.
Right. But here's the thing. We're doctors.
Yeah.
Why don't you let us make the decision? See, I'm going back to the whole friggin' thing.
That's it.
You know what? So I'm the doctor. I'll make the decision whether or not myself and the patient should make the decision whether or not during friggin' Corona we want to have have the surgery. Right. They're like, oh, you're going to clank up the hospitals. They're going to get sick. Well, now we're finding out that the opposite, the other side of the coin of not operating on these, it was almost as bad. Right. Now, the other thing is they stopped me from doing was letting me have the dispense medication. Now, hydrocortisone, Plaquenil, Plavix, Plaquenil, excuse me. That was controversial. Remember Trump talked about it. We were not allowed to give that.
Yep.
Now, all of a sudden we can't prescribe drugs. Ivermectin, not the horse one, but but point is they came down on us and they said, you can't write for that stuff. They stopped us doctors from treating.
Yeah.
They stopped us.
Your education means nothing.
Nope. They stopped us. So now you're seeing what all of that did. Stopping how many people died. Now like with the ivermectin, I don't know, but I can tell you right now the monoclonal antibodies, which are approved by the CDC, right?
Yep.
They were flowing. I think Florida started using it as prophylactic instead of, if you didn't want the vaccine, they would give you the monoclonal antibodies. Biden administration took over the distribution and rationing of the monoclonal antibodies. And to this today, they could still, say what state gets it, what doesn't, right. And you could go see the battle that's going on.
Yeah, and now with this new strike force that's being put into place, I have no idea what to expect, and that's us going forward into the winter.
Well, thank God, like I said, thank God, Jeremy, that the 81 million people voted for Biden, because this is exactly what we needed. We needed somebody to ration the monoclonal antibodies and make sure that they go to the right people. Right. Who the right people are, I don't know, but they're but not the ones down in Florida.
We needed somebody to tell us the very same vaccine that they promote was bad when another man was in the office. An orange man was in the office. The vaccine, no, don't get that. Don't get that. That's bad. And more people have died while Biden is in office than Trump was.
Well,
but that says a lot. But I'm glad they voted for the right man, because the cemeteries need business too, I guess.
Well, I think that people should go look at this what do you call it?
Email me that link and I'll put it up on our Facebook page. So if anybody is interested,
let me see. I'll share it right now, because this is a really good thing for our people who are on the podcast.
Yeah.
You got to go to our Facebook and Jeremy, do I have your email? I don't know if I have your email even.
If you don't have my email, that's mental.
Yeah. I know. We'll see. I'll put up. So here it is, Jeremy. So I'm going to send this. So Jeremy's going to put it right up.
But I want to tell everybody that this book I'm reading, it's fascinating. I mean, you say what you will about Bobby Kennedy or anything like that. Some of the information here, and it's all numbered where he got the information from. You can click on and see and go back to where all of his research came from. Well, it's absolutely fascinating.
Right. I'm going to read. I want to see Peter Navarro's book, because he was the one of the architects of getting this vaccine out. So
$2.99 for to get it on your tablet.
Oh wow,
$2.99. You can't miss that.
That sounds good. Yeah. That sounds good. So getting back to our this thing about how they came down, and so I thought we were over that. I can't believe, now I can't confirm this, but you're telling me they're stopping elective surgeries in New York State again?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Holy
and that was
moly.
before. That's before they even had a case of Omicron.
I mean,
that's scary though, isn't it?
And
this is coming off of the heels of them saying, "Oh, don't worry, folks. We're not going to do a lockdown like we did before. We're not going to do this like we did before." But you're doing that like we did before, and the doctors thought it was wrong then. It's still wrong now.
Yeah. Well, listen, so let me
especially like Dr. Jasper, who I also work with. He's a pain doctor. For those of you who don't know, he's got people who are suffering from pain like you wouldn't believe. I know when I was crippled. I know it's a cruel word, but that's what I choose, because that's what I was. And the pain I suffered was 24/7, night and day. I had family members who would check on me in the middle of the night, and they said I was crying in my sleep. The pain was so bad. These people are waiting for their surgeries that'll change their whole life, take all their pain away. And how long were those canceled the first time around? It was months and months, right?
I want to say months. Yeah.
And see, that gets backed up and then backed up and then backed up. So then when finally it's all released again, people still have to wait even longer. I mean, they don't realize exactly what they're doing.
Right. So I want to go back here. This is an article here, Jeremy, real quick. I want to talk about it. So, because this is an information show, people on our podcast, you could write this down, but go to our page. Jeremy, can you type this out on the thing? I'm going to spell it and put it out. This is the name of the drug. It's a Pfizer COVID-19 pill. You ready, Jeremy?
Wait, hold on a second.
I'm gonna type it up there. Sorry for our lack.
Ahead.
Ready? It's capital PAXLOVID. So this is an article came out of Pharmaceutical Technology, dated November 18th, 2021. So what this pill is, so what it is.
Paxlovid?
Yeah. So what it is.
It's on our screen right now.
Right. So what it is, it disrupts the replication of SARS-CoV-2 in the body by binding to the 3CL-like proteinase, an inhibitor an enzyme critical to the virus's function and reproduction. Okay. So right now, just listen to this. The interim analysis, this drug reduces the risk of COVID-19 associated hospitalizations and/or death by 89%. Those who received the treatment within 3 days of symptom onset. Here's another one, key. Got to get it quick. It was so effective that it was just amazing. It's on one level 3 trials. They ended earlier because they had such great outcomes. There's some other pills coming out. So again, what we should be looking at is this. This is how I looked at it. This is what Peter Navarro talked about, what President Trump initially talked about. But we shut down the country for a little bit. Okay. Remember, to get it past the curve?
Yep.
Now what we should be doing is letting the country rip. Okay. Number one. Number two is no mandates. You want the vaccine, get it. It's available. If you don't want it, listen.
81% of Americans have gotten the vaccine, and I
Right.
got to tell you something, that ain't too shabby.
No. And I don't know if anybody, you ever had those numbers. And like I said, you want to get the rest, then, go to their doors with a gun. If they refuse to get it, bring them outside, firing squad, and then just, kill them, shoot them like they did in Nazi Germany.
Now, before yeah, you're right. You're right. But before COVID, though, if someone were to ask you that, or
to get those numbers,
or tell you that there was going to be a virus, it's going to be barely tested, or the vaccine's going to be barely tested, but we're going to get it out into the people, and we're going to make them by every means that we can, whether they lose their jobs or what have you. We're going to force the American people. And guess what? Guess what, Dr. Mike? We're going to get at least 81% of our population to get this vaccine.
Well,
would you believe them?
No, but here's the thing. I have a good memory too. Fauci, Biden, they all said they weren't going to have a mandate.
They would never do that.
No, but they said they weren't going to have a mandate when it was expeditious for them, to fight Trump.
Yeah.
Here's
Fauci
the thing.
said it wasn't even possible.
No, but here, let me finish this. What we need to do here is this: stop the mandates. All right, you got the vaccine. They have a new vaccine coming out. Basically a new messenger RNA is maybe more effective for the variants. Okay, that's cool. And then you got your therapeutics. Bang the crap out of therapeutics. So as soon as somebody gets sick, it should be a protocol. You get the monoclonal antibodies. I don't care if it's expensive. It takes an hour to infuse. I don't give a rat's ass. Get it done. Put them on erythromycin. If maybe ivermectin, hydrocodone, whatever. But the therapy, you got this pill coming. So let's just say we all agree to disagree. But you got the monoclonal antibodies, and you got this new pill. Between this and the vaccines, we shouldn't have to close down anything. Forget about what political side you look on. Forget about whether or not really. I mean, we're here. Remember I said last time the parrot is dead. We should be moving on. We should be forgetting about closures and mandates. Turn around. Just think about it, Jim. Why can't we? If Trump was in office right now, I guarantee we wouldn't have any of this. Yeah. We'd be pushing the monoclonal antibodies. There'd be enough for everybody. There'd be enough to, and you could. I was listening to somebody. They have mobile stations. They could go to a nursing home. Talk about task force. Hopefully they have that. You get an outbreak in a nursing home. Go there with this truck and give them IV. Give them monoclonal antibodies. Monoclonal antibody is, just so people know, they actually take the plasma out of somebody who had the virus, and they make this in the lab. They make an antibody.
Huh.
And they can make them, more and more and more. And they don't, once they make it's they got the code, they just keep making more. They make a ton of it. And they give you, it's approved for pregnant women. So how dangerous can it be?
Could it be, right?
So you got that, you got the vaccine. Again, you got with the seniors, people 65 and older. The last time I looked last week, you have a 90.9% vaccine rate. Okay. So, listen, you tell, and I think you'll get kids getting it eventually when the parents feel comfortable. Don't put the gun to their head. Don't fire people. So therapeutics, let's, if you are compromised, then wear a mask.
Right.
If you're so worried, stay home then. But we gotta, the other thing that's happening, again, this is why I told you about the article with the Hoover Institute. The other side of lockdowns has, maybe 80% as much delirious effects as letting it rip through the population. Right. We go back to what our thought was. We don't remember. The thought was shut everything down, slow the curve, get the therapeutics, get the vaccine up to speed. Well, we're up to speed. The vaccine's up to speed. The therapeutics are coming. We should. Why are we talking about no elective surgeries in New York? And if that's true, that's crazy.
No, it is true.
That's going backwards.
Yeah.
And this politics with the monoclonal antibodies, don't even get me going on that. I haven't been following DeSantis what he's doing. So, but you could give people the monoclonal antibodies prophylactically, and I know you talk about a prophylactic, but so you don't want to get the vaccine.
It's mixed in with the spermicide.
Why do people get so rowdy, so what's the word I want to use? Aggressive, and F those people who don't want to get the vaccine,
Yeah.
And I had some old geezers saying, about polio, they're going to spread that disease. Well, first of all, even if you had the vaccine, you could still get sick and you can still spread it. So that's disingenuous to even say that. But why don't we be more? Let's be accommodative. You don't want to get the vaccine, then let's give you the monoclonal antibody. And the funny thing is, a lot of people don't want to get the antibody because, and I see this in writings, because back in the day, our vice president Kamala Harris said, "I ain't getting it." That's Trump's vaccine, right? Biden said, "I ain't getting that." So then they wonder why some people don't want to get it. They shot that stuff out there. So anyway, what else, Jeremy? What do you want to? I'm getting on my. I'm pissed. What else? Anybody? We have anybody?
No,
so you can have comments out there. If anybody wants to listen to us or listening to us, you could always go on our Facebook. Right now we're live, or our YouTube
yeah.
and comment, and we could give you a comment back. The other thing is that you want to, like I said, subscribe. And let me just retrograde, go back here again. My name is Dr. Michael Kachmar. I'm a board certified reconstructive foot and ankle surgeon. We have our contact information up there. Jersey Shore Foot and Leg Center, and put our email address up there, Jeremy, please. And but anyway, so I wanted to talk about that. I think that herd immunity is there's some paper saying that there wasn't, but I think we're getting there. So what else did you want to talk about, Jeremy?
Because going forward into the winter, the White House has put together a plan.
Good.
And so what I'm about to read to you now are the bullet points to this plan. Okay, so number one, boosters for all adults.
Good.
So that's pretty much business as usual.
Right.
Number two, vaccinations to protect our kids and keep our schools open.
Now, is there mandate? Is the word mandate used in there?
I can hang on a
second. That's part of the deal here, Jeremy.
Because it goes and splits it up down here. Let me see. The president will announce new actions to get more kids ages 5 and older vaccinated and keep our schools open. So it might be hidden within the sentence. The president will announce new actions,
right,
to get more kids to. So that might be where it's all at. So that was number two. Number three, expanding free at-home testing for Americans. That's all right. I don't see anything wrong with that. 4, stronger public health protocols for safe international travel. Now, why we haven't had that from like Jump Street, I have no idea.
We've had that. No,
but even more so.
Yeah.
And I've been on the radio screaming about that. When the
Listen,
first
go back, give me those again. Just do one thing. So I'm just looking up something. Could you do that again? So tell me, hit them again
from the start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do that again.
Number 1, boosters for all adults.
Okay. So that's nothing new.
Nothing new.
I mean, you had one shot, second shot, and so okay, boosters,
right. 2, vaccinations.
And that's well, new there is for everybody, which is kind of,
right,
so good.
Right.
That means, here's the thing though, that means, is there any time frame? So that means that now is the booster have different a different
is it
messenger,
a different booster than
right.
we
going
know
after
of?
So but go ahead, keep going.
Because the CDC just passed that.
Yeah, so what else?
Shots.
But that's good. So go, keep going.
Okay, number 2, vaccinations to protect our kids and keep our schools open.
Why don't we just open up the schools without it? But yeah, keep going.
Right.
Keep going.
Expanding free at-home testing for Americans.
Well, I don't even know if there's enough of them out there, but they get them already. Anyways, free is nice, but people are buying it. But go ahead.
Stronger public health protocols for safe international travel.
Well, I don't know what that means, because they, you go to another country, you got to be tested. You used to have to be tested. So how much stronger?
See, my point is like, if you can say now that, oh yeah, we didn't do
well,
it.
Let me ask you this.
We didn't do it as bad as we could have.
Let me ask you, is international travel, if I sneak over the border from Mexico illegally, is that international travel?
Yeah, but they did Anthony Fauci actually was on the news this week,
right,
saying that anybody coming into America via plane will need to
plane.
be will need to be tested first. So a reporter.
Right. What if you come? What if you come in the United States on a donkey?
Yeah. Well, that's what he said. What about all of these immigrants that were just the 2 million plus that were just
what about the guys who came in on a submarine with all that fentanyl?
That's when his mouth gets filled up with marbles and he doesn't know what to say. Yeah.
What about the guy who comes over the fence? So on that note, so keep going. What else?
Right. So then we've got,
nothing. Basically, nothing's changing. So what else?
Number 5, we got protections in workplaces to keep our economy open.
So more plastic shields, maybe gloves.
Nothing that says we're gonna guarantee you that you'll have a job or anything.
Okay.
Or whatever.
What else? That it?
Okay. Number 6, rapid response teams to help battle rising cases.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
We have that now. People are let me tell you, with the monoclonal antibodies, people are very creative what they do with that. So we have response. But go ahead, keep going.
3 more.
Go ahead.
Number 7 is supplying treatment pills to prevent hospitalizations and death.
Well, that's going to be the new Pfizer pill.
Yeah, or that Merck one.
Yeah, the Pfizer pill is going to be, it's huge. But here's the funny thing: the monoclonal antibodies, the pill is going to be a lot easier because you just take it, and they don't push the monoclonal antibodies because it's expensive and it takes an hour to infuse, but they should have been pushing that. It's been around for a year, I think. They should have been using that.
It was around for a year.
Right.
It was around from the start.
And they weren't pushing it, and doctors didn't know about it. And so, okay, keep going. So nothing about the monoclonal antibodies on this thing. Or is this there? It must be. You said he had a test.
Continued commitment to global vaccination efforts.
Yeah, well, they should be sending that out.
What is that about?
Well, they're going to send it to other. Yeah, he's going to deal with the World Health Organization. What else?
All right, number 9, and for the final one here is steps to ensure we are prepared for all scenarios. So that's just like
bullshit.
Bullshit.
We're prepared. We're prepared for anything.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I don't think so. So let me just comment on all this. Here's the deal. I'm going to go back and say what I said before.
Right.
I looked at Peter Navarro's book. I've looked at, different people. The way out, in my opinion, and this is, just anybody could have opinion. So you're not a, epidemiologist. We don't have to be. This is our opinion. We have an opinion. We're human beings. Again, stop the mandates. All right. Try to incentivize and educate everybody in the United States and the world about how effective the vaccine is. I know, you have some people like, oh, it's this, that, but here's the thing, but don't mandate it, but try to educate and it's like you're selling something.
Yeah.
Try to sell it, and show the facts and let people make the decision. That's number 2. Stop the mandates, education. Number 3, therapeutics. They're coming out with the pill. Make it available to everybody. Monoclonal antibodies, make it available to everybody.
And also
let the doctors
those vitamins like vitamin D and zinc.
Right.
Taking them isotonically, you can do that right now by going to
that's so bad.
Look at that segue.
No, that's terrible.
On.
Don't even go there. That's terrible.
Jersey Shore Center.com.
Yeah, well, vitamin D, but my point is let us do what we want to do. Let us do what we want to do. And then you're going to have herd immunity. You're going to, there's people out here in these centers. There's thousands and thousands of doctors that they're treating locally. They know what to do. So, if the President of the United States get out of the way, let the monoclonal antibodies flow. Let the companies put it out there. Let the pill come out and educate the people and take the mandates away. And I think that we're going to beat this thing. I really do. I think you're going to have, it's going to be around, but it's going to be like a cold. And I'll leave you with this on this. Just go look at the CDC and look at the history of the flu. All right. Every year, 40 to 60,000 people die from the flu. Hundreds of thousands, I think over 1 million, maybe 1.5 million people are hospitalized every year with the flu. Hospitalization. I've been in the hospital for 30 years. I've seen winters where the hospitals couldn't fit anybody more because of of the flu so bad. ICUs filled up, hospitals on divert. So it's happened before. You understand what I'm saying? You know, we have a handle on this. We know that it's worse than the flu, but it's not like the 1918 influenza. So my point being is we got to stop this bullshit rhetoric. We got to stop the politics.
And I've been, as far as the Omicron, this is the last thing I'll say about it. The Omicron variant, from what we've heard, it's not as rough as they're thinking it's going to be. So I mean, there's a lot of hope there if that's the case.
Well, I want to just shift over here because I want to talk about a little something else because I'm getting a headache with this crap.
Yep.
This is, you know, so between, and this is something I want my audience, and this is something that could save your life. Between April 2020 to April 2021, 100,000 Americans died from overdose of narcotics. Okay. Right. That's a record for anybody who's out there. That's a record. Now, we've been having overdoses. It was before Trump got in, during Barack Obama, it was climbing. 60, 70, you know, then 80. And Trump started to get it down because, in my opinion, what's killing these people is a lot of it's fentanyl. And I'm going to talk a little bit about fentanyl. But fentanyl, it's mostly made in China and now Mexico. And how's it getting in the country? From the border.
From us.
From the border. It's coming in, and we're
allowing it to come in.
Right. So fentanyl, just so everybody knows, is a synthetic opioid, meaning it's man-made. Okay. It's a drug that's man-made. And
can it help you?
Well, it's a narcotic. It's used. It was manufactured for pain relief. You know, especially people with cancer. So you know, the amount that's coming in, the amount of fentanyl is just ridiculous. I'm just looking some of the, you know, how to ways you could take it. But what's happening is, and this is where kids are dying, and this is where I want to throw it out there.
Are they getting high off of it? Or?
No. Well, here's what's happening, Jeremy. You could get online and see. You have had drugs. You've had Percocets in the past. You've had, you know, ecstasy, speed, you know, pot, you know, alcohol, and you could, you know, these narcotics, even heroin for that matter. These narcotics, people would die from, but not a lot. You'd have to take a lot, and you know, it's a long term. It hurts you over a long period of time, and but for the most part, you know, it's I don't want to say safe, but it wasn't a killer. You know, now what you have is this fentanyl, which is one little tiny bit could kill you. And what happens is kids are getting online and ordering it, and they're ordering a Percocet. You know, they're ordering like what they think is something else, a pill that's going to give them a little bit of a high. And what the dealers are doing is they're mixing some fentanyl. So they're taking just a sugar pill or a Tylenol or whatever and putting some fentanyl in there. And they're not accurate with it. One pill will kill you. So you have hundreds of these kids that are not heroin addicts. They're not even drug addicts. There's just some high school kid wants to get high. You know, they're 15 years old. They order it, they get it in the mail, they take it, and their parents go up there and they're in their bedroom dead. You don't believe me? You can look at the CDC. And so they, you know, and you could get patches. You got someone will pill. It comes in a spray. If some of these people are buying a spray, you spray it. You know, back in the day when I was
spray it in your mouth.
Yeah, or your nose. Back in the day when I was starting out. We used to see kids come in the emergency room. They would sniff glue, get high off of that, or gasoline. They actually took gasoline, put it on a rag, and sniffed it. Kids are free. Listen,
Jesus.
When you're 14, 15, you know, some of these, they'll do anything. They'll do, you know, I'm just saying is that you better watch your kids because, you know, sniffing glue ain't going to kill you like real quick. I mean, you're not going to OD or gasoline or.
I'm going to tell you something.
But you understand what I'm saying? It's a lot dangerous
when
now.
I was a kid, they had an assembly. And they had a police officer come in, and he brought this guy with him who was a drug addict, right?
Right.
And that drug addict, and the police officer told him, he said, show him what drugs have done to you. And he took a handkerchief,
Right.
right? And he rolls it up into a point, and then he put one end up one nostril and pulled
it
it
came
out,
out the other.
and it came out the other. And then he did one of these things, you know,
He had a hole in
like
his
a pipe
nose.
cleaner.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you something.
That scared the shit out of you.
It scared the shit out of me so much, so much. I have never had anything more than pot, and I never will.
Well, so that's why I'm talking right now.
Yeah.
I wish I could show the kids how many people at the hospital.
Talk about scared straight.
Well, what I can tell you right now, I'm operating in the operating room, and they'll bring down the body of a patient who OD'd on drugs, and they're going to do organ harvesting. And they line the whole way. But, it's like every other week. And they come down. I see them, they got the tube in their mouth. They're dead, but they still have them on oxygen, and they bring them in there, and they disconnect everything, and they take their organs, and they cut everything out, whatever they can.
Right.
And it's the only silver lining there is that the person who died, it's usually a young person. At least maybe somebody's going to get their heart or lung
Several
or
people
kidneys.
might.
Right. But that's, that's a tragedy. And I see that. And I wish I could bring those kids in there and look at that. Because I can tell you right now, and I see that reality, and I can't get.
That would be a hell of a.
I could still see.
Situation.
I could still see this one girl they brought in, because we all heard about it. She was like 15 years old, and they brought her in, and she had to, she was intubated, and I saw her face. She looked like she was sleeping, and I got very, very emotional, because I had to go operate on somebody, one of my parents. It's like, and it's sad, but now it's getting worse. I thought, and again, the lockdowns, why are so many people? Well, it's the border. Again, I'm so happy that the 81 million people voted for this guy, because we need these open borders, because what's happening now is, forget about, there's more people who died from Corona with Biden administration. It has nothing to do with Biden, by the way.
No,
I just want to let you know.
Nothing at all.
But we also have 20% more, maybe 30% more drug overdoses while Biden's president. Just want to give you that one. Okay. So thank God for that. Because you know what? We have more organs now. We have more. So there's silver lining to that, right? Thank you.
Anybody say otherwise.
So let me listen to this. So this is Mexico's role in the deadly rise of fentanyl. Okay. And this paper, I'm trying to see when this was done. So I just want to make a point here. Mexico, the fentanyl trade requires vast networks of smaller, blah, blah, blah. Okay. By and large, where's I want to see here. The biggest, the people where most of the fentanyl came from was from China. So China used to make the vast majority of the fentanyl. And now they're making the components and selling it to Mexico. So I'm just trying to see here. So CDC, the United States Centers for Disease, blah, 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 blah. Mexico's role. Chinese companies produce the vast majority of fentanyl analogs, and fentanyl precursors. But Mexico is becoming a major transient and production point of the drug and its analogs as well. And Mexico traffickers appear to be playing a role in the distribution in the United States. Now, I have people say to me, you know what, Mike, tough shit. These people die of drugs. It's their own fault. They're idiots. What do you call it? Fittest survival.
Right.
Well, it's a 14-year-old kid. You're going to tell me that, they don't know. And the other thing is that, these people depressed, we worry, we're concerned. Why do we want to mandate vaccines? I would theoretically, it's not because we want to have Pfizer make more money, right? We want to protect people. Is that why the government? I would imagine.
I would hope so.
Okay, but I think it's the wrong way to do it. But maybe their heart's in it. Well, why then would we not want to stop the fentanyl traffic? Why? We all know this article is a couple years old. We know where it's coming from. Why would you open up the border and let the fentanyl rush in here? Obviously, you could, people saying, well, it's the increased dose, increased deaths are because people, the corona, they were depressed. Well, it's also because you opened up the friggin' gates. Okay. Mexico is involved in it. Now, the other thing is Trump put a kibosh. He, still now when Biden had his meeting, it was a great meeting, by the way, with the Chinese premier.
Yeah.
Right. The 4 hours that he talked to him, which you could get the transcript. Not one time did he ask the Chinese minister where corona came from. Just want to let you know that. Never mentioned.
Talked about the climate.
Never mentioned Wuhan. What was it?
He talked about the weather.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, but thank God, I'm so glad he didn't mention that because I didn't want to upset. We don't want to upset. You don't want to upset the Chinese prime. He's a big shot, But so anyway, so we could be. So what they decided, China said they're gonna maybe try to make fentanyl production in China illegal. We'll see. I'm holding my breath. That's what he said. Yeah, I swear to God, that's what they said. China said, well, we're going to work on that. They're going to work on it. Me, I would say, listen, if you don't shut it down tomorrow, you're going to have $10 trillion worth of, what do you call it? Tariffs on your ass.
What?
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah. I know.
Mike, what are you saying?
Yeah. But yeah, I know it's bad, isn't it?
Our president has got our back, man. What are you doing?
So that's another thing. So listen, if you have children, this is where I'm coming out. If you have children and you think, they stay home, okay?
Right.
And, you try to watch where they go. They could order this stuff online. That's another whole thing. How the hell, and it gets delivered to the house. It gets delivered to the house, Jeremy. Yeah. I mean, you could be living in Kansas City in the middle of nowhere. If you got a UPS, I mean, you get, and there's also drug dealers that sell the shit.
Yeah.
And who's some of the biggest drug dealers?
Who?
Well, you tell me. And again, I you go to these places now, you have all of these people from South America. I'm not saying they're all bad people. Don't get me wrong.
I was going to say possibly the 2 million people.
Right. So, how many of these people that are coming into, like, if I was a drug cartel, let me tell you what I would do. This is what I would do. If I'm going to put my cartel hat on. I am Miguel Hernandez.
Really?
And I'm a big drug cartel down in Mexico. You know what I'm going to do?
What's that?
I'm going to send, I see the open borders. I'm going to send, while they're breaking in over here, I'm going to send a whole bunch of my people with drugs into the United States. And I'm going to set them up in New Jersey and New York and all over the place, because New Jersey, you could get a license to practice medicine or plumbing without being an American citizen. And you get welfare, and you're going to get medical care, and same thing in New York. So I don't even have to pay for that. I could send them up there and they get everything free. So I'm sitting pretty. Now, what I'll do is I'll get Pepe to, go up with a car loaded with fentanyl, and he could give it to my people up there and they could sell it.
Nice.
Perfect.
What
do you think about that?
I think it's
and you know who I'm going to thank?
Who
am I going to thank? I'm going to thank the 81 million people who voted for Biden.
Yeah.
Thank God for that.
God bless them.
Thank God. I think that, so there we go. So
and I hope each and every one of them
that me as the cartel, I am going to buy myself a beautiful, beautiful mansion.
You deserve it.
In Mexico City. Yes.
Of course you do.
And enjoy my life.
Of course you do. You deserve it.
So anyway, people out there, be careful with this fentanyl.
Yeah.
So now this just came out to see 100,000. What's that? It's getting late.
Yeah,
you got to get going. So, all right. So anyway, anything else you want to talk about, Jeremy?
So
I know Jeremy's got to get going.
Yeah, I got my kids.
Play tonight, sorry about that, Jeremy. I was on my. So listen, Jeremy, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, sir.
You've been great. How you like that? I love my. Anyway, so we're going to sign off here. We've gone through a lot of things. Again, my name is Dr. Michael Kachmar. I'm a board certified reconstructive foot and ankle surgeon. My contact information is our webpage is JerseyShoreFootAndLegCenter.com.
Yep.
We also are, it's up there on our screen. So anybody listening to podcasts, you go to our YouTube channel or Facebook channel, and you can see it and you can get the information. The other place to get us is drop us an email on Kachmar at iCloud.com.
That's right.
Okay. We're here every week. We usually do a show on Fridays. Today is Friday. We have our lifeguard show on Tuesdays and different days. And Jeremy, is there anything else you want to say before we say goodbye?
No, I just want, like I say every week, I want everybody to remain kind to one another. You know, remember the old thing about your fellow man and your neighbor. Let's be kind to each other.
And Jeremy, can you tell them tomorrow you have your 2 radio shows? If anybody wants to check in
tomorrow, from 10 to 11, I'm doing Painless with Dr. Gabriel Jasper. If you're local at the Jersey Shore, it's 104.1 FM. Otherwise, you can listen to us on mybeachradio.com. After that, from 11 to 12, I am doing Radio Free Tom's River with Dr. Barbara Schneider. It's a politically based talk show. And
way to the right. She's great. It's great to listen to her. She's great.
And
you cringe when
you can go to you can go to Dr. Barbara Schneider's Facebook and Dr. Gabriel Jasper's, but it's under Jasper Spine Institute's Facebook because I live stream them there.
So Jeremy, just keep it going for a little bit. We're gonna put the monitor here on our Santa Claus, and we're gonna say goodbye. Listen, everybody, God bless America. Stay safe. And just try to hang in there, okay?
Hang in there, guys.
All right, hang in there. And Jeremy, I'm gonna let this play a little bit, and you can sign off whenever you want. Take care, everyone.